What's up guys, Jake Lowry here, and today we're going to be fishing for a fish that does not belong in Texas. So I live in South Texas and this place is very new to me. I'm like 30 miles away from Louisiana and pretty much in the middle of the swamp. And for some reason, the Texas DNR thought it would be a good idea to stock trout in these ponds in the middle of the swamp in South Texas. Now, to me, that makes no sense. There's no way that these fish are going to live in the summers when the water temps get up to like 90 to 100 degrees. It's just absolutely insane. Regardless of that fact, I'm gonna try and capitalize on this Texas DNR stupidity, and we're gonna see if we can catch some trout and maybe eat them if we do catch them. So let's take a look at the rigs we're gonna use today. So I got both of my spinning rods out for this occasion. I have a light spinning rod and the spinning rod that I use for saltwater. I'm using this one because I don't have another spinning rod. And the rig is very, very simple today. I have braided line on both rods, and off that braided line, I have a 6-pound monofilament leader. Attached to that leader, I just have a small size 10 hook. And then about 12 to 18 inches above that, I have some split shot. That is the very simple stocker rig, and I'll show you guys what baits work best for these stock trout. So the rigging on these is like very, very simple. Let's start off with the corn. I'm gonna put the corn on my lighter rod. So I'm gonna take the hook off, grab a couple like full kernels, and all you do is sit there and thread them on the hook, just like that. And that is the perfect little stocker trout bait. The power bait is a little more challenging. So all you do is get this thing open, take a little bit of this power bait right here, and then you wanna roll it into a ball in your hands. This stuff's like kind of smelly. So just like that, all you do is take your hook and embed your hook in the power bait just like that and roll it up. Perfect. So now we got the rigs rigged up and we got the bait on. Let's get the chessie on and throw a couple casts. Okay guys, so first things first is a little chum action. So take this green giant corn, grab a handful, and then just give it a toss. This will really get the stocker trout going. Okay, now let's make a cast with the corn. Perfect cast with that corn. We'll let it sink all the way down to the bottom. And I'm just gonna leave my spool open. Okay guys, second cast I'm gonna throw with the power bait, and we'll just cast it out. This one can go out a little further. Perfect. And again, leaving that bail open, just gonna let it sink all the way down to the bottom. Okay guys, so now I got both rods out. The one on the left has the corn, and then the one on the right has the power bait. It's looking good, we're looking up. I'm thinking also the fact that I'm using corn, I have odds to catch a carp. I don't even know if there are carp in this pond, but who knows, we'll see. Now that all we're doing is just waiting for those trout to bite, let's talk about the time I caught my biggest trout ever. This was a 27-inch brown trout, and we didn't get a weight on him, but he probably weighed upwards of 7 pounds. So every summer I go to Wyoming to fly fish with my dad, and we have an NRS raft. It's like a 12-foot NRS raft, and we float one of the rivers that runs through Wyoming pretty much every day. This story starts the day before. So we're out at the car wash, and my dad's, washing the back of his car. He has a truck, and on the back of his truck, he has a shell. He's washing the back of the shell, and then all of a sudden, the whole window just completely shatters. It was like one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. And this obviously threw our whole fishing game off, because out in Wyoming, it's all dirt roads, right? You can't drive with a shell that's carpeted and get it all dusty. That night, we didn't really do anything to the shell. I woke up late because the weather was kind of bad, and we started, messing with the shell, and we finally just put a tarp over it, and that was the end of it. But after we started messing with the shell, it was probably 11 a.m. and we decided, hey, let's go for a float. We didn't want to float one of the more challenging spots to get to because it's already late in the day, and 11 a.m. is really like a long time to get out and float. So what we did is we decided to float the easiest float on the river from town to the next takeout below town. So we get off to this float, and we're thinking the whole time, okay, if we hook a big fish, or we hook a fish, it's gonna be a big fish. So my dad freaks out at me because I forgot to grab the fishing rods. So we pull off on the side of the river about 100 yards downstream, get out of the raft, run up back to the boat ramp, grab the fishing poles, throw them in the raft, and start heading down river. Start headed down river, I hook like immediately like a 6-inch trout. Here we go, thinking like this whole float's gonna be just either dinks or no fish. Eventually, we pull off into our lunch spot, right? And it's this big open area and it's very calm. So there's not a lot of water. It's almost like we're fishing in a lake. At that lunch spot, there's a bush, right? And my dad goes, oh, why don't you go throw at that bush? And at this point, I'm throwing a bugger, which is like a large streamer. And I make a cast into that bush. I cast right perfectly under that bush. As soon as I start stripping it in, all I see and all I can make of is a mouth. And I go, what the heck is that? And then I stop the bait. I'm like, okay, it's behind it, I'm gonna stop it. And then I lifted it up and there it was just dead weight. It was a freaking giant on the hook. Anyways, we fought that thing for maybe 5 to 7 minutes, which is a lot for a trout. Landed it and then took those freaking awesome pictures and then released it. And so that's the story about how I caught the biggest trout of my life. Okay guys, I didn't have my GoPro out because I was just telling you guys that story, but look at this. Not a freaking trout. I caught a dinky ass catfish. Well, that's slightly frustrating also because he swallowed that whole hook. Dang it, guys. I really thought I had odds to catch a bigger fish. And it also looks like he's got some fungus on him. You guys see those black spots? That's quite peculiar. Not a good sign and not a great start to the day. I hate touching these catfish because they're all slimy and it'll get all over your hands and stuff. Okay, let's get some more corn hooked on here. Hopefully we can avoid these catfish because man, oh man, it seems like in Texas, all I can catch is catfish. Okay, got the corn hooked up. Let's cast again and hopefully no catfish. That is the goal today. Okay, cast it out. Looks like it's on the bottom. Okay guys, something's clearly on this rod. It's completely taut, the one with the corn. I'm gonna reel it up and set the hook. Yep. Okay, this is a big fish. Okay, I don't know what this is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys. What the hell do I have on? 6-pound line. I don't know what I have on, guys. Holy cow. Okay, he's coming up. This is a giant fish, guys. I have no clue what I have on. No way this is a trout, right? There's no way. Okay, I'm to my leader. What is this, guys? There's so many bubbles. What the hell? Oh, it's a turtle. Oh my gosh. But look at him. Holy cow, guys. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. How does one unhook a turtle? Maybe I can just... Okay, well that worked. All right guys, who freaking knew that turtles ate corn? I mean, that's pretty unbelievable. It is not looking up for these trout things. Last week when I was here, I saw a bunch of trout jump, and this week I totally don't see any trout jumping, so it's probably likely that they're all fished out of the pond. But my plan is to fish with the corn for maybe like 30 more minutes and see if we can catch something. But so far I caught a catfish and a turtle. Who knows, guys? Maybe there's a trout, maybe there isn't. So stay tuned, guys. Okay, so I made it over to this culvert spot and I'm gonna throw in there and we'll see if we can catch something. The corn seems to be the money thing today, so we're gonna stay in that theme and keep throwing this. Okay, let's get the second rod out there. We'll let that sink straight down. Now it's time to chill again. Again, I'm gonna give it like 30 more minutes and then that's gonna be a wrap on this trout thing. I'm not gonna waste my whole day here. Some more chum action. Okay, so let's check on the corn then. Oh, I got something. The heck? Oh my gosh. I didn't know turtles like corn that much. It's a little baby snapping turtle. All right, I got the hook out of him, guys, and he's just gonna go, and eventually he'll just walk right back into the water. Don't have to throw him back in the water. I'm not gonna touch him because he could cut my finger off, but let's go. 2 turtles, 1 catfish, fishing for trout. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up the video fishing for trout in Texas. We weren't able to get it done. I think all the stock trout probably got fished out over the past week and a half. A lot of people catch wind when these trout get stocked, and you know, they fish them all out. But still slightly a success. We found out that turtles supposedly really like to eat corn, and so do catfish as well. So I caught 2 turtles and 1 catfish. Pretty surprising that I caught anything at all. And that was a fairly big turtle. Anyways, if you guys like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you next time.